I've been professionally editing content for over a decade now, and if I could go back and tell myself one thing, it'd be to use DaVinci Resolve. When I first started editing, I actually used HitFilm Express. It was a great program, but then I actually moved to the Adobe suite once I started college to get my AA in photography. And I mean, that was a really cool experience at the time. I looked at that and I was like, dude, they got everything. They have everything for photo editing, video editing. It literally is the whole suite. And then of course they have all the other stuff that was in the suite that I didn't really use because I didn't know how to use because everything else was, all I needed was photo and video. And at the time, Adobe was literally like the gold standard. If you were creating content, you and your team were absolutely using Adobe. And with just over a decade of experience, I've edited everything from weddings, real estate content, commercial content, VFX content, all with the Adobe suite. Now, don't get me wrong, Adobe really is a great suite. There's a lot of really good things that go with that. But at the end of the day, there's still 3 things that really frustrate me about Adobe. So I'm gonna tell you what those are, and then we're gonna look at why I switched to DaVinci Resolve. Number 1, it's a subscription service. So every month, I have to pay a monthly fee in order to have access to the editing suite that I use. So if you're a brand new content creator and you're not working with any clients yet, a monthly subscription service might be a deal breaker. Reason number 2, all the bugs and glitches and crashes that Adobe still has in all their programs, especially Premiere. It's crashed on me so many times actually, where I actually had to create a brand new SOP, where at every critical stage of the editing process, I'm saving a couple of copies. Now look, all software always has bugs and crashes and all that kind of stuff in it. But Premiere Pro, out of all the software I've ever used, Premiere Pro has had the most. Number 3, which is kind of a really big deal. I mean, the other 2 are a big deal, but this one's really, for me as an editor, this one really just kind of makes me mad, I guess, would be a good way to put that. So you're paying for the monthly convenience of having access to Premiere Pro, After Effects, Photoshop, all that stuff. Well, in Premiere Pro, you just get an editor with like your standard transitions, like just nothing fancy. So if you really want to speed up your workflow process, you have to go get plugins. So on top of already paying a monthly subscription for the software to edit your stuff in, now you gotta go get a bunch of plugins that either make your content easier to edit, so it's faster, you have better graphics, you have better transitions, sound effects, all that stuff. So again, if you're a new content creator, paying a monthly subscription for Adobe and then having to pay another subscription for plugins and stuff like that, so that's an added thing that you have to now pay for on a monthly basis. Actually, there's 4 things that really make me mad about Adobe. The 4th one is, I can't do everything in one program. If I need to go and edit my audio on a professional level, I have to edit all that inside of Audition. If I want to do special VFX, if I want to do masking, if I want to do anything that really requires a higher level of compositing or VFX work, I have to do all that inside After Effects. Even after I get everything done inside of Premiere Pro, I still have to open up those individual clips inside of After Effects to go through and do all the VFX, and now I gotta learn a whole nother program. I don't have time for that, I'm sure you don't as well. So all those things combined, that's really why I started looking for other options, and that's when I got introduced to DaVinci Resolve. The biggest thing for me is when I started looking at this thing, I was really hesitant at first because, well, first of all, I got 10 years put into Adobe, right? That's basically muscle memory for me at this point. And then it's also the node system. Dude, when I saw the node system, that kind of freaked me out, to be honest with you. I've never seen that before. And so after I kind of made that discovery of the node system, I kind of put it on the shelf for a little bit. And I was like, no, I think I'll stick it out with Adobe. I'll figure it out. Like, it'll be okay. Well, more crashes, more frustration. I ended up just being like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go watch some more tutorials and really see if I can figure this thing out. So I watched tutorials on how to use DaVinci Resolve for some really great people out there. And it really gave me hope as well, because there was a lot of tutorials that I watched where people sharing a story kind of like mine of their frustration with Adobe, and they're like, I made the switch. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Here's all the benefits that came with that. I'm like, I have to switch. It makes so much sense. The 3 big reasons why I switched to DaVinci Resolve is number 1, it's free. Unless you want to get the studio version. The studio version is a one-time purchase that gives you access to everything included with that software. Unlike Adobe, where you have to have After Effects for VFX, Premiere Pro for your editing timeline, and Audition to edit all your audio, DaVinci Resolve puts all that together in one editor. So you don't have to learn 3 different softwares in order to achieve the same effect. DaVinci Resolve is also loaded with amazing VFX. And on top of that, if you want to get plugins, there's a whole community of people out there just like you and me that have gone before us, created amazing plugins. And the coolest part is, It's all free. So whether you want to use the community versions of plugins or you want to buy official plugins, you have full flexibility with that. The second reason why I switched to DaVinci is that they really designed the software to really cater to you as a video editor. The whole interface is easy to navigate, and honestly, it's really easy to find the stuff that you're looking for in there. And the third reason is actually my personal favorite reason why I switched to DaVinci Resolve. The things you can do with color in that program literally blow me away. I have struggled for years trying to get perfect color grades inside of Premiere Pro. I know there's LUTs you can get, I know there's like different things like that, but again, I don't want to have to rely on plugins or LUTs or anything like that in order to achieve the looks that I'm going for. When I'm editing, I want to be able to achieve that look myself. I don't want to be limited by the creative tools that are offered in the software. And I felt like at every time I would go and try to color correct inside Premiere Pro, I always felt like I was being blocked. I feel like I couldn't actually achieve the color that I needed because I wasn't able to read it. If you've edited inside of Lightroom, like all the options, or even in Camera Raw, all the options that you have to edit photo, why isn't that in Premiere Pro? I don't understand that. And so in DaVinci Resolve, they give you access to every tool that you would need. And that's been an absolute game changer for me. Now, the node system, it was a little bit difficult to kind of wrap my brain around at first. But again, I watched some amazing tutorials from other creators that did a really good job of explaining what it is, how does it work, and how does that really change my whole workflow. When I did a test project inside of DaVinci Resolve, I was trying to treat it like a layer system, and that does not work at all. So once you wrap your mind around that, it's a absolute game changer in a way where you kind of don't want to go back to the layer system, adjustment layers and all that other stuff. It doesn't really make sense. There's far more intuitive control inside of DaVinci Resolve compared to what we got with Premiere Pro. So if I could go back and tell myself one thing, I would hand myself a copy of DaVinci Resolve and say, start here. Don't get into Adobe, don't do anything else. Start video editing with DaVinci Resolve. It'll be the best thing that you can do. So if you're on the fence as to whether or not you should be getting into Adobe, you should be getting into DaVinci, or any of those other editing programs out there, I personally recommend that you start looking at DaVinci Resolve. Number one, it's free, so you can download it right now from their website and try it out for yourself. See if it has everything that you need to be successful as a content creator. If you found this video helpful, hey, give it a like, give it a share it with somebody that might be on the fence as well, and let's start a conversation in the chat. Have you used Premiere Pro before? Have you used DaVinci? What's your editing software of choice and why? Either way, I hope you have a great day. See you next time.